Welcome back, Nick Lenz, Comic Corner Classics and Non-Classics. This is episode number 1296 and Doubleshot number 1190. Like I said before, my Attack on Titan video, this is two Batman trades. First up it is Batman, the Dark Knight Detective, Volume 3, Blind Justice. This book collects issues 892 to 600. The Blind Justice one is basically the last three issues in this trade. It's quite interesting to say the least. It involves someone apparently is from the Ku Klux Klan. Also, Bruce Wayne being accused of apparently being a communist in 1988. And apparently with illegal experimentation. Oh, he gets off because it was all bogus charge anyways. Yep. Now, a majority of this is done by Alan Grant and John Wagner. You might be thinking, Alan Grant. Yes, this is one of the comics we work on. Now, John Wagner is not really known for his Batman work, per se. When people think of John Wagner, what usually people think of? Well, let me give you a hint. He's a guy who says this classic line. Or said two classic lines. Drock. Or, I am the law. Judge Dredd. Yep, that's what John Wagner is known for. Judge Dredd. He's been known for that for years. Yep, I've never met John Wagner, but I'm sure even he basically, he knows he's known for doing Judge Dredd. I know he loved the Dredd 2012 film, but his Batman work is not exactly very much talked about. Well, probably because a lot of times we're about Alan Grant, who later on, a few years after these issues came out, got Batman Child of the Bat, a book he held for almost 7 years before he left. And then he handed the book off to Chuck Dixon, who did the book for the last year. The book soon before it got canceled. Yep. Now, first we have Casebook, Batman, The Fear. You're probably thinking, The Fear. Does this involve the Scarecrow? From what I can tell, no. Also, classic 80s Batmobile. Yep, this is really cool looking Batmobile. Yeah, it mostly involves some guy who thinks he's Abe Lincoln. And yeah, this arc takes the first several issues of this trade. Yeah, it seriously does. It just basically involves like some one-shot villains. Like, it's very much a violent storyline. Like, Batman getting strung up here. Lots of blood. And this is the late 80s, mind you. Yes, this is basically... Well, it takes the first two issues of this trade. And then eventually we get taken up... Well, actually, no. Still Casebook. Actually, they call it Casebook for Batman. They call it Ecstasy. A story involving drugs. Okay. Yeah, it's a... I think it's a... Yeah, it's just a standalone story involving drugs. Yep. And then $5.95 is a tie-in to Invasion. Now, in case you're curious about Invasion, yeah, this is the storyline that was loosely adapted for the very first CW crossover. Yeah, but this involves Batman fighting a bunch of Thanagarians. Yep. Yeah, this is when the planet got invaded by aliens. Yeah, it's actually a really good one-shot. A really good standalone issue. And yes, Alan Grant and John Wagner do write this issue. Yep. Yep, they do this. And it's just a quick standalone issue. It's a little better than what they did before. Like, the XC one was kind of weird. And then, of course, we have a brand new creative team. Yes, a brand new one. We have Batman face off against Mr. Freeze, even though he can't really see him very well. But yeah, this weird looking guy, yeah, that's Mr. Freeze. Yep, and this is taken over by Jeff O'Hare with Roderick DeLino in the artwork. Yep, it's just Batman vs. Mr. Freeze. That's what this issue is. Yeah, of course, Batman kind of doesn't exactly work Mr. Freeze. It just him take out Mr. Freeze for a standalone issue. And then, of course, we have John Wagner and Alan Grant back on the artwork with Eduardo Barrito. Well, back on the artwork. Yep. Another one, of course, you have guest appearance by Commissioner Gordon, who's basically smoking a pipe. Yeah, this was something that Commissioner Gordon was known for doing a lot. Heck, if you watch the animated series, a lot of the time when he's not basically alongside Batman, he usually has a pipe in his mouth. This is very common for him, though later years he would give up basically smoking. Yep. And not really much what I know about what comes to this issue. No. It's just basically Batman doing things. And then with 597, just Alan Grant. John Wagner is gone. Yep, actually no, John Wagner's still here, surprisingly. And still basically the same person. Well, yeah. Batman just with various thugs, like standard crime. It's okay stuff, but it's not something to write home about. And then we come to the Blind Justice arc, which was Batman fighting this weird guy that could be a stand-in for Bane. But Bane didn't make his debut for a few years. Yeah, this is from 1989. From March 1989. Yep, and this three-part Blind Justice is what ends this particular trade. This three-part is by Sam Hamm, artwork by Denny Cohen, who did the artwork for the Question series. And I've already discussed this. Now, in the case of this trade overall, it's actually okay, per se. But, in my opinion, I think that the non-issues done by, well, John Wagner and Alan Grant, those are the best one. I really, like the Invasion First Strike, that was really good. Mr. Freeze one was really good. Blind Justice 3-parter was actually a really good 3-parter. But everything else was just mediocre at best. Lucky enough that basically the book did get a little better, especially since the next arc that comes right after Blind Justice is the Mud Pack arc, which I really love the arc. It's basically Batman versus all the Clay Faces at that point, which there were 4. Well, 3 actually. They had one joined posthumously due to the fact that he died during the events of Crisis of Earths. Now moving on to Batman the Cape Crusader, Volume 5. Yep, that's the next trade here. Really did. Yep, now this book is interesting though because this book contains issues 466 to 473 of Batman and the comics 639 to 640. Yep, more crossing up with the comics. Now, this book basically, well, if Robin's here, well, that means there's basically more stuff set up the Robin ongoing series. Now, this issue, first issue in here, this is by Alan Grant. Yeah, Alan Grant wrote both Batman and Detective at the same time. Yep. Yeah, this is just a standard standalone issue. Robin just dealing with various, let's say, battling some terrorist. Yeah. 466 is just standalone issue. And then come to 467 to 469. It's 3-bar called Shuttlebox. Yeah, this is done by Chuck Dix. This one is the 3-parter that's a backdoor pilot to the Robin ongoing series. Of course, this is also drawn by Tim Lyle. Yeah. I've kind of discussed this particular 3-parter when I discussed the Robin trade that collects this. Yes, I've already technically discussed this. So, moving on to the arc that comes right after this one. Basically, let's see if I can get to it here. If I can come up here. Here we go. 470. A tie into War of the Gods. It's just Batman versus Maxi Zeus. Yes. A criminal who thinks he's Zeus from Greek mythology. Yeah, those remember this guy from Batman the Animated Series who appeared for one episode. I remember from the episode, he thought that Batman was Hades. If you watch the episode, it's one of the most hilarious episodes you would ever see. Like, oh, we have Maxi Zeus. Yep, Maxi Zeus. Yep, it's a weird issue. Has very little to do with War of the Gods, but simply it's just Batman versus Maxi Zeus, which I find to be so hilarious. Basically, it's over the top, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Good mystery here. It's a great standalone issue when it comes to the character. 671 is Batman versus Killer Croc. Interesting. And of course, I should point out that the artwork is done by the late Norm Breyfogle, who actually passed. I think he passed away about a couple years ago. He passed away. Yeah, the guy's a really good artist. Yep, and the way he drew Killer Croc here, it's kind of the similar look that he would have from the Batman animated series. This flat-looking face with a little bit of eyebrows up here. On the show, he was gray, had a little bit of a beak to him. But it's a similar style body build that he used in the series. That's pretty much all 471 is, just Batman versus him. And then 472 to, I think it's like, the rest of the stuff in here is just called The Idiot. Yes, The Idiot. Now you're probably thinking, basically, with playing cards, this involved the Joker. No, not really. It just involves basically some woman who thinks she's the queen. And basically it starts from Batman 672, continues in 639, which is by Peter Mulligan and the late Jim Aparo. Yeah, that's part 2 of this storyline. Yeah, it's not one of those few times Batman to the comics would cross over each other, just cuz. And then, like, part 3 is in Batman 473. Yep. Which is back to Alan Grant here. Though it's a bit of a grotesque, there's one point in the issue, we actually see this guy digging his fingers into Batman's head, drawing out blood, which... Yeah, I'm like, was this really acceptable in the early 90s? Apparently. And then, like, part 4 is 640 for Batman. And I think that's pretty much it. Yep, that's it for this trade. Yep. Well, in the case of the 2 trades that are here, in the case of Batman, the Dark Detective, Volume 5, actually it's Volume 3, I get that one roughly I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I'm really nice to it. In the case, this one actually was a little better. I give this one a 9.5 out of 10. Yep. So yeah, that's it for single review. I have one more video I'm going to do, and that's a review for, well, a DC Batman, Marvel DC trade, okay? But see you next video. Bye.